Alright, so I don't want this much draw in my starting hand. In fact, I want to, draw into my draw later on in the game. I will keep the loot hoarder though. In hindsight, loot hoarder, actually, no, I won't keep the loot hoarder. Loot hoarder is actually not that good versus Druid. I'd rather, again, draw into the loot hoarder. Try to get my 1-drops right away, as well as my Amani, Juggler, and Sorcerer's Apprentice. So this is a pretty unfortunate draw. Kind of regretting not having the loot hoarder. Okay. I think I'd rather play the Leper Gnome on turn 3. It's a bit more inconvenient for the Druid, usually. I'm just going to apply pressure. Coin Keeper the Grove is a very strong play right now. Oh, this guy's gonna have a rough time if that's the only thing he can do. I was debating saving that for Juggler, but I'd rather just protect my units right now. Nice little trick you can do with Acolyte of Pain. That's why a lot of mages like to run him. I'm just gonna play the loot hoarder rather than ping the Acolyte for more draws. He's now played 2 Taunters, so he's gonna need something like a Ascension, a Sunwalker, or an Ancient War to really. Actually, Ancient War is pretty much his only out. With Sunwalker or Dingo, I can easily deal with him. Of course, he might nuke these down, which would also be nice for him, but I'm gonna get a lot of draws if he just nukes those down. If you didn't notice, there's not a lot of decision making to be made in this deck, so it's a very easy deck to play. I only have 1 fireball left in the deck for direct damage, so. Oh, there it is. As you can see, even though I had a starting hand with only spells in it, I drew into, either draw or creatures I could place on the board. Because, that kind of hand happens very rarely. And when it does happen, the odds that you draw into, your second Arcane Missile and second Fireball is really low, so. You'll be able to have creatures, typically, by turn 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna throw away my draw cards. I'm guessing this deck or this game is gonna be like a race game. So he has burn and I have burn as well. I'm gonna keep the mirror image because it just gives me something that I kind of openly ping behind. It gives me a turn 1 play guaranteed, which is nice. So say, you know, he plays Worgen and then or Abusive Sergeant, Argent Square, like he's not gonna pass these guys. Rather play her than simply ping before his consecrate turn. He hasn't used the coin, so he can consecrate next turn. I might even use her 1 HP to help kill the Argent Square next turn. Oh, my ear's so itchy. I think I'd rather draw than ping right now. So I'd play this, but next turn is probably his consecrate turn, so I don't really want to play it. This is kind of a tough decision. Both Water Elemental and this play were pretty much equally strong. It's just, you know, the difference is Water Elemental plays around Consecrate a bit. Or doesn't play around Consecrate a bit, sorry. So I want to Frostbolt this guy first because if I don't and it's get down, like he just gets +1 juggle. Before I do that, may as well play Mana Worm. I don't really want to Water Elemental. Yeah, because I want to ping. See what I draw first. Leper Gnome. Okay. I think I'll play the Leper Gnome when I want to play my Argus. Because I don't want his 1/1s to simply trade with it. This is kind of an interesting thing when you do Rush versus Rush. It becomes less of a face game and more of a, you know, proper trading game, value for your cards kind of thing. not too worried since I have Argus, so I'm gonna start off with Arcane Missile. Okay. So since my Arcane Missile didn't kill both, I have to ping this. Otherwise, you know, I'd love to play Leopard Gnome. As long as the water elemental is on the board, that means his True Silver can only do a maximum of 4 damage, which is a pretty big deal. I don't want to overcommit to the board, because he hasn't played Equality yet. So I'm not going to play Juggler or Argus. I didn't plan on it, rather. I do think I made a misplay. I think I should have drawn first. I should have planned out my turn a bit. And I would have been able to play Mana Worm. And he would have been a 2-3. So. Two draws off Divine Favor. Okay. So I'm going to target this first in case it's the Redemption. Which it's not, which is completely fine. Again, I'm not going to overcommit to the board. I'm probably going to go all in next turn because I'm getting pretty close to lethal range. But I'm going to wait one more turn until I go all in on the board. So the reason why I didn't go face there was just to play around the second Consecrate a bit. So that was his second Consecrate. I'm just going to go all in on the board now. So if the Dark Iron Dwarf lives, I can kill him next turn. Because the Leopard Gnome will do 2 damage guaranteed. And I have 13 damage in my hand. Alright, so that's game. So I feel like not going for face a couple times there ended up being a pretty big deal. So keep that in mind when you're facing other aggro decks. You might just want to trade. Actually, yeah, you just have to, know when to trade and when to go for face. Okay, Arcane Missiles isn't that good versus Druid, so I'm going to toss that. I'll just keep my 2/2 drops, leave it at that. So instead of simply mirror imaging and passing, I'm gonna start applying pressure right away. Play the Imani Berserker. If he's taken this long to decide, it makes me think he has a Harvest Golem. So if he doesn't play Harvest Golem in this turn, and he just simply Hero Powers, I'm just going to assume from here on out that he has Harvest Golem in his hand. Typically you only take that long when you have another play, right? Alright. So I don't need to Acolyte of Pain yet. I don't need the draw. And this gives me a lot better options next turn. Even though it's not as mana efficient, I have 2 synergy cards with multiple units on the board. And of course it applies us slightly more pressure. So now if he plays Harvest Golem, I can just kill it for free with these 3.
My shield for
It's unlikely that he'll be able to conveniently deal with these 1/2s, so that's the main reason why I ended up doing that. And of course, if he plays Harvest Golem again, I can Suicide 1 with that Dark Iron Dwarf and then trade or something. Him attacking that makes me think he has another swipe. But, he might just be setting up for a turn 7 play where he does, like, Druid of the Claw and then Hero Powers that, or something. You never know. I decided to do this over Dark Iron Dwarf because I didn't want to risk getting swiped again. And it's nice to save his battle cry. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna get these 2 out this turn, and then the turn after, I'll probably be playing these 3 at once. So I'm just trying to plan ahead of time. Gonna draw first, obviously. Alright, well, hopefully he doesn't have that other swipe ready. His pretty impossible to play around swipe, unfortunately. So he already played one. You just have to make the risk. Just to apply as much pressure as possible. Interesting. Well, I may as well do this since that happened. So you can't trade with the Drake for free. Right now I have 10 direct damage in hand, including this. If you have the dust, you can feel free to toss out something like Arcane Intellect for a Pyroblast, because having one Pyroblast in this deck would be a pretty big deal. It'd basically guarantee when you're facing a Druid and they manage to actually stall out the early game, that you'll just have that extra, 10 damage that you'll need to get through their taunts and end the game. Alright, let's see. I can do Juggler, Sorcerer's Apprentice. I'd have 4 mana. That means I wouldn't be able to ping. Or I could do Frostbolt, Dark Iron Dwarf. Just not that good. Alright. So that play I was kind of banking on juggling into that once, which is pretty risky, but the reward was pretty great. It means I can save my Azure Drake, and I get to build up a board, a very high threat board. And he's implied that he doesn't have his second swipe in his hand already. So if I can just play units en masse, he's gonna have trouble dealing with it, most likely. That Ancient of War was a pretty big deal here.
I must safeguard the land. Where shall I start?
So I'm attacking with the Leopard Gnome first, so my Arcane Missile doesn't hit the Ancient of War more than once, so I can get maximum efficiency out of it. In fact, I should have fireballed the Druid of the Claw. Thankfully, for me, it didn't matter. That was a pretty big misplay. Alright, so I'm doing this for sure. The question is, do I want to trade the Drake into the Keeper of the Grove to protect my Juggler? I think I do, actually. Never mind, I don't. 4 damage is too much to pass up at this point. If he plays something like another Ancient of War, I'll be able to kill it with having all of these on the board. But, you know, I still have quite a bit of draw left in my deck. I still have a Fireball and a Frostbolt, so if I bring him down to 8, he's going to be at within lethal range of my next few draws. So, you know, it kind of pressures him to heal himself as well as play a taunt. Four cards, a Ramp Druid can pretty easily get a taunt that's annoying for this board to deal with. Or I could do like, hypothetically, he does like Keeper of the Grove and Sunwalker. If I didn't attack his face, he'd be in really good shape. I think attacking face here is just like the safe play, because it gives me a chance versus most hands.
Time waits for no one.
Okay. Alright. Well, good luck with the budget mage for, you know, the people who don't have very much dust under their name yet. And I'll see you guys next time.